me just introduce to you. So Akshat Khare first. So Akshat Khare sir is a ITD alumni. So he's in 2020 batch. So 2016 entry, and he's a 2020 batch alumnus. And so he's like my immediate senior, and he was from my knowledge, so he's the only person who actually uh, got selected in Google Summer of Code and completed it nicely with all the three phases. I think there are three phases, right? So I
Yeah.
think, yeah, so he's the best person so to tell us about the Google Summer of Code, and he'll be talking about how to apply, how to shortlist of the companies, and then what is the procedure and everything. So without any further ado, let's start. So yeah, over to you, Akshat Kare sir.
Yeah, thanks for the introduction. So in 2018, I contested for GSOC, and I got selected in Open Roboter Lab. So that is a robotics related to robotics organization, and it is open source and it is quite nascent. It emerged in like 2012. So yeah, so I worked in that, and last year I contested as a Google Code Mentor. So I mentored around like, I don't know, like 60 or 100 students worldwide who were in like class 10th or class 6 to class 10th. And this year I was a mentor for GSOC 2. So I mentored a student from England. Yeah. So yeah, that was my introduction. And currently I'm working as a research scientist AI in MTX group. So about Google Summer of Code. So what is open source? So Google Summer of Code translates to open source. So open source is computer software where the source code is distributed under an open source license that allows anyone to study, change, and improve, distribute the software. Okay, so there are two kinds of software: open source and not open source. Windows works on a non-open source software, and you can't actually change the software which is being run on Windows and all. But like you can have you can edit the kernel which is present in the Ubuntu or Debian. So these are the common operating systems which your seniors might be using, and you will also be using in some years. So Linux, kernel, Ubuntu, and all. So these are open source software. That means that anyone around the globe can change the software and have their software run in the millions of machines that are running right now. So this promotes collaboration and community of dedicated developers. So what you will realize is that in some time that open source is very vital to what stage we are in the current scenario of computer science. So like a SQL, like what I can think of is that when in 2000 SQL began. So SQL was the first thing which came out, and then Google acquired it because it was open source. And also all the open source things actually translate to big organizations. And why is Google funding Google Summer of Code? Because first, because they are promoting open source, and they itself use these open source softwares in their development, and they benefit from the open source. So if you know, the Android project is also open source. So yeah, so that is one thing. So what is GSOC? So that was about open source and how important is open source. So GSOC is a online international program designed to encourage university student participation in open source software development. So you will be competing with students around the globe who are on the university level. So they can also be a BTech student, they can also be MTech, PhD, whatever. So yeah, so this is about GSOC. So what you work over you work for like 3 months in a open source software organization, and you earn a stipend for successfully completing the project. So so you are supposed to spend time outside of school working in a field that can help them with their studies and career after university. So many a times people end up in the organizations they work for, and they contribute further also, and many a times they go to a similar field in their career. So yeah, so that is one thing. And you don't like there are no excuses like you are working on you are doing a summer semester, so you won't be loaded with the work. So yeah, that is not an exception. So you will have to take time out of your school, that is IIT Delhi, and work on the projects. Yeah, and the typical timelines and meetings will also be quite strange if you're working with German organizations. So you have to stick to their meeting times and all, but they are pretty elastic in those in that sense. Yeah. So goals of the program, so motivate students to begin participating in the open source development. So as we see, the dev club also has emerged as a open source organization itself, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Like I have seen their codes and they are terrific. Yeah. So you this will motivate you further to participate even further in a bigger open source development stacks. So provide students in computer science and related field to opportunity to work related to their academic pursuits. So, and the main thing about this program is that this will help you get some exposure to the real world software development scenarios, like what is testing, what is version control, like Git, software licensing, like what is meant by MIT license, why what is meant by GPL license and all, and mailing list like etiquette. So you will realize this further, that this is a very important thing. And when you are working with a big organization, which you might be in working in like 4 or 5 years, when you get placed, so you need to maintain a etiquette in the organization itself, and this will teach you how to and create more open source code. So it is a developer's like most brilliant desire to have their code run in, let's say, like 1,000, 2,000, or even 10,000 machines at the same time. So yeah, so whatever code you will create, it will be executed worldwide, and your lines of code would be helping someone. So yeah, that is one thing. And help open source projects bring in new developers. So how does GSOC work? So first, around Feb, it happened that open source software projects apply to be mentor organizations. So let's say the organization which I was working for, Open Roboto Lab, they applied in Feb to be a mentor organization, and Google will choose the organization to participate. So and there were 206 in 2019, and similar number in 2022, 20 also. So that was the thing. So as you can see, this is a huge number of organizations. So so many organizations come in. So you name the field, like web development, artificial intelligence, machine learning, computer vision, security and programming languages, and verification systems, and chatting apps, and like systems of every kind are there in this 206 organization. So you get a very nice flavor to test. Yeah. So students submit their project proposals to mentor organization. So you will be asked to submit a project proposal that may be in LaTeX, Word, or whatever you want. But like mostly students work in Word documents and Google Docs, and make a Google Doc and submit that. And you will have a conversation with the mentor about your proposal, and if they like your proposal, you are in. So there are other factors also to being selected, which I will tell you. So mentor organization choose the students they'd like to accept. Students are paired with a mentor to help them throughout their project. So throughout the project, you will be paired with, let's say, 2 or 3 mentors, and they'll help you. They'll have weekly or bi-weekly meetings with you to judge the performance of the project and help you further. And coding begins. Student work towards milestone, laid out their project proposal with their mentor over the 12 weeks. So one main thing about GSOC is that you set your own milestones. So these milestones which I'm talking about are laid by you, and so you don't have to be like in an internship sort of mode where the professor sets your milestones and all. So you can set your own milestones, like what you want to what you want to focus on first. Like first month you just want to do research, and second and third month you want to, second month you want to do development, third one month you want to do testing. So yeah, typical milestones are laid by you, but they should be appropriate, not like you are doing research for the 3 months. So yeah, that won't result in any progress for the organization. So they have to be in acceptance with the mentor. So evaluations, so the student pass three evaluations. Student who pass each evaluation are paid a stipend for their work. So these stipends are equitably distributed. So at the conclusion of GSOC, students submit the code they have written for their project for everyone to see and use. So you submit your code, and your code is nicely put up in the Google website itself, and you see like people can go to your code and see what you did. So yeah, that is one thing. So eligibility, so you have to be 18 upon registration. The first year students who are not 18, so sorry for you, you can apply next year. So accepted into enrolled university program by the student acceptance date. So so this applies to all of you, as you are currently in ID Delhi, eligible to work in the country in which you decide. So this doesn't matter much, because you like India is eligible to work, and I think so there are only 2 or 3 states like Pakistan or Afghanistan, I think so, countries which are not eligible. So India is eligible, have participated in no more than one previous GSOC. So you can do 2 GSOCs in your lifetime. Yeah. So in 15 years, there are like 16,000 students from 109 countries that have been accepted into GSOC. And as with most like computer science graduates, and also India also leads in this. So like 4,000 students are from India itself, and approximately 36 million plus lines of code have been produced. So these are the useful links which you can see. So next to the timeline. So yeah, so the 2020 program timeline was like January 14, organizations applications open. So you you don't have to be concerned with this. So organizations apply during this time. During by February 20, accepted GSOC organizations are announced. So you will get to know what organizations have been selected from March 16 to March 31. So you can see there is a period of 1 month in between these two things, and students, you have to submit your proposals. So it is actually expected that you submit your proposals quite early. And if you're submitting in the last stage, like March 25 or so, so mentor will not get any time to review your work and also suggest you some changes which you can do. So mostly you won't get selected in that sense. So yeah, so you have to start submitting that early. And April 27 accepted students are announced. So by this time, between this time, you can like parallelly apply to anything you want. Or so let's say if you don't get into GSOC, so you should not be like lazily laid out in home. So yeah, so you can apply to other things in this stage. And also you can keep a chat with the organizations, keep on going to further advance your probability of being selected. So so April 27 to May 18, community bonding period with org. So during this time, you just chat with the mentors, like what are their expectations for the project, and what was the history of the organization. So typical like warming stuff, like information about the project and how you want to set your milestones and all. And May 18 to August 17, students scored the summer away. So and August 25, successful students projects are announced. So as you can see, I think so July, August. So there would be a overlap of around 1.5 month here with your college. So you have to be wary of the fact, and try to use this period, community bonding period, to start coding and use the summer vacation just fully, because the program is of 3 months, and we as students get only 2 months. So you need to properly manage your time. And what I can say from my experience and other students experience is that you would be able to, it's not that difficult of a task. Yeah. So on to the next best slide, which you want to know, perks. So yeah, first ever experience. So the most important perk is that first ever experience to commit to a open source organization that is so big. So that is your first ever experience. And the second perk is that you get US $3,000. That translates to around 2,21,000 as of current exchange rate. And this money is non-taxable. So you get whole of this, and this is paid monthly. I think so, I've written it wrong. Month like paid phase wise, like 3 phases. So you get like 60-80,000 in the first phase, and likewise. So other perk is that Google referral one time valid for 7 years. So you get a referral which you can use for like any time to appear for Google interview in the next 7 years. Like let's say you get selected in 2021, so like 2028 you can use that referral, and that referral is actually quite highly accepted. So yeah, so that is one thing. So but it won't provide you any benefit like skipping those rounds. So yeah, you will still have to appear for those rounds. But what happens is that in organizations like Google and Microsoft, uh, so there are stages of machine resume parsing, and also you might be able to skip that. So that was the thing like 3 or 4 years back, but I don't know about now. But this the Google referral by GSOC is highly recommended. So yeah, that is one thing. And the next important thing which applies to all of you is that placement and training companies look for GSOC candidates as you learn how to contribute to big code base. So let's say I interned in Flipkart, right? So when I went to Flipkart, there was a huge code base, like I think so around 300 or 400 developers have developed that over a period of 6-7 years. Okay, so that code base is pretty big, and you need to properly navigate through that and understand how it works. So it is a quite difficult task. So you get to learn how to do that by working in GSOC. Like the code base is pretty big, and mostly it is not documented, although it should be documented, but many times it is not properly documented. So you learn to read code. So basically what we have learned over 4 years is that how to learn to read code like a text. So you'll after GSOC you will most probably be efficient in learning codes, like reading codes. So that is one thing. So and what happened in my Flipkart interview is that when I applied for when my interview was going, so they saw GSOC in my resume, and they said that okay, so you are a GSOC candidate, so you might be a perfect fit for this huge code base which we want an intern to work at. So that was one thing, so which was very beneficial for me. And that actually also helped in my placement company also, because they also looked at my GSOC thing and asked me questions related to that. So like and there are typically 2 or 3 interviews that I've given. So yeah, so in all of those interviews I have been asked questions on my GSOC, and they were pretty interested in what I told them. So yeah, and this is a primer for being a Google Summer of Code mentor. So you can't be, most organizations don't accept mentors who haven't been a GSOC candidate with them. So that is one thing. So you are required to be a GSOC student to be a GSOC mentor. And other thing is that most projects are very light, and you can club a research project with them also, because the typical timing that would be required to you in the GSOC is like 30 hours a week. So 30 hours a week, so like let's say you work for 8 hours a day also, so you get 40 hours a week, so 30 hours a week you can devote in the GSOC project. And this also is a very high ballpark which I'm saying. So many of times you end up doing to 20 hours or so, so that also suffices if you are a fast coder. So you can club a research project with that. So I published a research paper while working on the GSOC project also with a professor in electrical department. So that was my first and maybe the only paper which I published in my like BTech. So yeah, so that is a research project which you can work on. So you don't have to be fixed only on the GSOC thing, and you can work parallelly with your internships or anything like that. Yeah. And this is your first step to do something socially good in computer science and also make money in parallel. So what open source is considered as a practice which is very socially good. So you are not getting like money from that and all, but here you are also getting money and you are also contributing to an open source organizations which whole world will use free of cost. So yeah, so this is something very rewarding to many people. So yeah, so my journey, like I mailed around 100 profs around the globe in January. And like I think so I am late. Your developed seniors will always like may tell you that you must start mailing by November December itself. So I was pretty late in this and mailed 100 pros, but I didn't get any positive feedback, like they lacked funding or something like that. So that happened. So I started preparing for GSOC in February mid. And I some like in my organization before in the March itself, I submitted a pull request and 4 issues till March, and I got selected and completed the project successfully and published a conference paper on other projects. So that is my timeline for that summer. So I went forward to participate as Google Coding Mentor in December 19. So that was a very exciting experience for me, and that is a other thing to share. But yeah, so and I was a Google Summer of Code Mentor this year in a successful project. Yeah. So, what my tips for you would be? Wait a second. Sorry. What my tips for the GSOC project would be that, first of all, do not panic after seeing many students competing in the IRC channel. So what are IRC channels? So when you apply in organizations, you are expected to talk with the mentors and the maintainers of the repository, like like what are the projects which they are working on, and where do they need help and something like that. So you may have some doubts. So you will see that there are many students in this IRC channel which are also possible GSOC candidates, aspirants. So you will see that there are like 600 students also competing with you. So do not panic, because out of those 600, only 50 or 40 stay till March. So don't panic that much. After seeing so many students in the after seeing so many students in the IRC chat channel, and start contributing even a little. So so you need to contribute to the organization for being selected in most of the organizations, like I'll say 99% of the organization. So you need to contribute even a little. So you do not need to solve the issue or something like that, or create a big branch for them, or big feature for them. Yeah, so that is not expected from you. What is expected you to create a conversation with the maintainers and understand the repository and how it works. So what are the frameworks it is working on, and what the code actually does. So you need to understand that, and you have to also translate that, so that the your mentor understands that okay, you are actually understanding what you are working on. So maybe you can't solve bugs, so submit feature request like I think that this might be beneficial for the project, so can you please look into that and create a conversation there, suggest a bug. So when I applied for my organization, so I was working over my Geo or the internet over in my hostel was pretty bad. So what I saw was that it caused some bugs in the app. So I suggested that, and that was my start. So like you don't know when a bug will arise. So yeah, just keep on experimenting with the repository, and you'll surely find a bug. So suggest a bug, submit an issue. Like you find some issue with the thing, like you try to install it in Mac OS or maybe Ubuntu or Windows, and you couldn't do something. Yeah, so submit an issue, comment something meaningful on an ongoing issue. See the issues that have been very much been debated upon, so comment something useful and meaningful to those issues. See the beginner, so every GitHub organization have some tags like these are beginner to do's, like beginner issues. So try to solve those issues, and understand the feature and create missing wiki pages. So what happens with the most of the organizations is that they don't have and nice documentation. Yeah, so you can contribute to the documentation itself. And so there is a lot you can do which still qualifies as an open source contribution, other than actually creating some lines of code. So you can also do that. So open source contribution is not, repeat, is not limited to actually lines, writing like 600 lines of code in their Java file or something like that. So these things which I am talking about are also a very important open source contribution, and organizations value that. So I can speak that from because I have selected student this year. So yeah, so any kind of contribution is well taken. Open source is more than just code. It's about making good software available to a wider range of public. So we are developers and we know coding, but if someone wants to use the repository just as a plug and play basis, so how would you expose the app to them? So you can also make some documentation and create some interfaces for them. Yeah, so that is also open source good open source contribution. And think of how you can make repository better and move forward in that direction, how you can make the installation simple, things like that. Yeah, and start asking questions in the IRC channels itself. Yeah, so any kind of question is not a dumb question. Start asking question. Just don't be a problem creator. Try to solve some problems as well. Let's say Shor has asked some question in like yesterday, and he hasn't received a reply to that, and you know the answer to it. So just ask, so just type it out. So yeah, so these things are very valuable. So start asking questions in the IRC channel itself. And so this is a very important slide which you want to focus on. So have 2 or 3 pools of organizations with which you are applying at. So what I told you is that in March they will declare the organizations. Okay, so you'll have only 1 month to. So should you only prepare for like 1 month? So that is not the case. So you need to start preparing from like December itself, December or even November. So because one month is very less time to create any meaningful contribution to the organization and make a good presentation and proposal. So you need to start preparing from now. So you need to have some pools of organization. Okay, this is the organization which I'm focusing on. So yeah, so one type of organization which you should start focusing on right from now is that which is pretty sure to come next year too. Okay, so there are these large organizations which have been taking more than 10 students every year. So, like example is Focetia. It develops like free open source softwares ranging from every kind of tool. And so this is a pretty big organization, but it is associated with huge workloads too. Yeah. So other thing is Mozilla. So yeah, the browser which I am working at, Firefox. Yeah. So Mozilla is a very big player in the open source field. So you can apply in that. Debian is an open source tool. Drupal, I think so. It is a learning management system. Yeah. So Drupal also comes every year and takes many students. Django, I think so. Developer might have yeah, briefed you about that. Isn't that so? Sure, Django. You might have taught these students Django.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So
Yes, yes,
students
yes. So
would
students would
know the frameworks like
know the
Django and
frameworks like
other
Django
things.
and other things. Yeah, yeah.
Even
Django.
Apache.
Yeah, Django, Fedora is also an OS only, and GCC is the compiler of C++ and all. Jenkins is another project. I don't know much about it. LibreOffice is the Microsoft Word and Microsoft Sheet equivalent of Ubuntu. Is another organization which comes every year and takes many students. OpenCV is an organization which works in machine learning and image processing. OpenStreetMaps is a open source alternative of Google Maps, so it is a pretty big thing, and they have been taking many students, and their mentors have been very helpful to the students to get acquainted with the OpenStreetMap. So this is also a good thing. OWASP are related to security. Python, as you all know, Python. Yeah, so it also comes and takes many students. Ruby is also a language. It is pretty obsolete, but yeah, Ruby has its code running in many servers, and it is still relevant. Yeah, Apache. So Apache has Apache का तो बहुत कुछ है, मतलब कि आई कांट इवन स्टार्ट टू टेल कि अपाचे क्या क्या करता है. सो लाइक बट द मेन वर्क इज ऑन द डेटाबेसेस एंड ऑल. So if you are interested in database and management and things, so you can go for Apache. Honeynet is one other organization. I don't know what it does. Videolan Videolan is VLC media player, so it also comes every year and takes many students. Zulip is a chatbot, and Metasploit is a Kali Linux based security tool. Yeah. So these organizations come every year mostly. So if you are interested in machine learning and try to create a prediction of from the last 10 or 15 years, like what organization will come next year, so you might see that these organizations are like 95% sure to come next year too. So and there are other small org which might repeat. So Open Roboter Lab, which I was working on, so it might also repeat next year because they have been performing good, and they are creating good projects too. TensorFlow, yeah, so this is a pretty nascent organization, and I am pretty sure that this will also come next year. Pretty sure, or sure, because TensorFlow, Google has been pushing for its advancement. So you might be knowing about TensorFlow. So TensorFlow is uh, basically this machine learning based organization, and it is open source, and it is very important. So you might want to look at this. And Postman is a web API testing tool. Git, as you all might know, Git is the open source contribution version control system. Yeah. So new orgs which will be declared in March. So in March, there will be new organizations which are coming for the first time in the GSOC. So this is your go-to option. So make yourself free in March and apply in this. So you should have at least one application in one of these organizations, because in this large organizations, there might be cases where students have been working for like 1 or 2 years. So you might not be having bandwidth to apply in this organizations. In some organizations, like if you want to apply in, let's say, Debian, so Debian का कर्नल ही इतना बड़ा है, तुमको उसको कॉपी, वो 40 GB का तो उसका क्लोन ही आता है. तो तो दिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस आर वेरी लाइक कि डिमांडिंग, सो इनमें थोड़ा मुश्किल होता है. सो यू वांट टू कीप अ बैकअप ऑप्शन, एंड द बैकअप ऑप्शन should be these new orgs which will be coming in March, and you should at least submit one proposal in this organizations. And for now you might choose any one of these organizations, or that one listed in their pages. So don't be restricted to these organizations. These are something which I have been seeing and have some friends working in this organization. So yeah. So and select the most important thing is that you select org on the basis of your interest, and fail fast. Like if you are seeing that okay, this is not your cup of tea. Let's say you got into Mozilla and you found out that okay, yeah, I'm not able to do this, and I've tried enough and I've spent a like week or two in this, and yeah, it's just not my cup of tea. So just fail fast. So try to fail fast, because else you will be wasting your time, and this will result in your non-selection. So you need to submit an proposal for the GSOC. So that should have aesthetics with the code. So in IIT Delhi, we all speak that okay, code है बढ़िया है, print हो रहा है, बढ़िया से हो रहा है, print कर देते हैं, debug नहीं करते हैं इसको, things like that. And the code is कि अपन ने variable के नाम ले रख रखे हैं, where a equals to this, where test equals to that. तो इस तरह की चीज़ें प्लीज़ मत करना. Don't do stuff like this. So you need to have a beautiful code. So and the aesthetics of the code should be good also. So aesthetics of the proposal should be also good. So you will be asked to submit a proposal. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि तुम क्या नाम से ACM का एकदम टेम्पलेट उठा के लगा दो, which is very boring. So you please don't do that. So your proposal need not be a formal one. You are not submitting a paper for ICCV, so don't try to make one. And so your proposals should be very candid, and it should be first of all good looking. Like the mentors are supposed, though mentors are not being paid, okay, first of all, so they will look at the proposals, and that should be actually catchy to their eyes. So make sure that it is good looking. So what you can do is that you can have some images, you can have some demos. So yeah, so that will help you like pass the first stage of first selection of the proposal. So we see like many like I itself saw like 60-70 proposals, so I don't have enough time to go through every proposal. So I will be skipping some proposals. So you need to make the proposals so that they skip this first thought. So it should not be a 1 or 2 page proposal. It should be fairly long, like in 9 to 10 pages, and it should be interesting. Yeah, it should be like a story, like what you worked on. And should suggest that you have some in-depth knowledge about the source code of the organization. Let's say you are doing sentiment analysis in the project. Okay, you can't write like there are 6 kind of sentiments: anger, surprise, and I will do this, and I will apply TensorFlow, and I will use this paper. No, उस तरह का नहीं. You should properly cite the papers, properly write ki what exactly would you be picking from the papers, what tools you would be using, and what will be your typical pipeline, and what kind of testing you would be doing. So yeah, so you should have in-depth knowledge about the source code which you would be using, and also of the organization. Let's say you are working in LibreOffice and you are suggesting them things about कि अपन machine learning use कर लेंगे, ये कर लेंगे, so it won't work. मतलब कि वो they are not experienced in that, and you should be, अगर उनसे बात कर रहे हो तो तुम XML के बारे में बात करो कि how they are maintaining their databases and all, what is their schema and all. So you should talk something which is relevant, and this should show that you have some in-depth knowledge about the source code of the org. So that is one thing. So don't apply blindly, like जिस तरह से अपन मेल करते हैं कि कोई से भी CMU की साइट पे गए और 4 प्रॉफ उठा के अपन ने पेस्ट कर दिया. Don't do that. So it won't help you. So you should have some in-depth knowledge about the source code of the org. So let's say you are applying at OpenStreetMaps. So you should know कि वो किस तरह से काम करता है, what is how are their वो किस तरह से render कर रहे हैं अपनी view को site पे, how are they calculating like कि paths and all. So ये सब आपको आना चाहिए कि कैसा, what is the typical workflow in the organization. So I should mention and definitely mention your contributions to the organization in the proposal, and also like even if you are doing some internships or something, so this is an insider fact, you should mention that you are free this summer. Okay, don't mention like yeah, I am being engaged in like 10 different projects, so but I would be also be having bandwidth for this project, so that is not acceptable. They will straight out reject your application. Yeah, and should be something catchy. Yeah. So maintain a good accord with the mentors of this organization. So try to chat with them, of course not on the private channels, on the public channels itself, and if the need arises in the private channels also. But most mentors would not entertain you in private channels, like कि तुम उनसे उनका WhatsApp नंबर मांगोगे, वो नहीं होगा. So they have these IRC channels, उन्हीं पे बात करते हैं वो लोग. So maintain a accord with them. So maintain a good accord with the mentors of the organization and try to be a problem solver. Like don't create more problems for that, and also suggest some solutions for the issues which you are creating. So yeah, suggest solutions along with bugs. So if you are submitting a bug, you can also suggest like okay, how to reciprocate this bug. अब तुमने कोई bug देखा, वो उसको reciprocate ही नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, so that is not acceptable. So also suggest some solution कि अपन ये कर सकते हैं, a broad level solution, so which can work. Yeah. What languages should you know? So this is a most asked question. So what languages should you know? Like in Call 100, you might be taught one of this, or maybe other than that, I think so they are teaching functional languages nowadays. So a basic programming languages, language which you are comfortable in. Example, any one of Python, C++, C, Java, etc. And some web development languages like HTML, JS. So you should know, because most of the projects which are coming in the GSOC are based on web development tools. A proper knowledge of JavaScript is needed. Yeah. So try to play around with W3 schools and see like how JS works, how are asynchronous operations, and also this is a thing which is very common. So yeah, so JavaScript should मतलब आना चाहिए आपसे थोड़ा सा, क्योंकि in the last time when I told you like ये new orgs आएंगी, so these orgs are basically web development based, so you should know how to create basic web apps. So what tools should you know? First and foremost, Git. So if you are in first or second year and have not used Git, so start using it. Start working on your assignments on the Git itself. Don't use a pen drive to transfer your code, and don't mail it also. Git पे upload करो, share करो. You'll start learning about Git. Yeah. So an IDE. So you should know how IDE works, like IntelliJ, Eclipse, VS Code. So as I told you, that these organizations are very big and their code bases are very big, so you would be needing to navigate through the code. And what अभी तुमको सुन के बहुत आसान लग रहा होगा कि navigation बहुत easy होगा, but it is not that. तुमको IDE यूज करना आना चाहिए कि how to navigate around the code, how to set breakpoints, how to do basically debugging. println करके debugging मत करना please. तो वो सारी चीज़ें you will learn through an IDE. So maybe you will be getting a project by some prof in Java or Python. So try to use IntelliJ or Eclipse or even VS Code. Yeah. So a full stack that tool like Django, you should know the basics of a model view controller framework, like how these things were. So Django is, I think so, an example of MVC framework. Yeah. So learn about a full stack tool like Django, or yeah, Node.js. Yeah. So yeah, you can learn about that. Yeah. And FAQs. So most frequently asked question. I don't know any programming language other than taught in Call 100, and I am also not very good in that. Okay, I skipped some of the classes. No worries. Go to W3 schools, learn basics of JavaScript and web development. Most of the organizations are web development based, so you will be good to go. Yeah. So, but other than that, please try to revise your concepts of call 100. काफी काम आएंगे. I don't want to commit to GSOC. I want to prefer a research project abroad rather than GSOC. Like everyone does, मतलब, you will surely pick a going to like US over doing a GSOC project. Yeah, so no worries. So that is a common case. Just mention to your org that you won't be available. Uh, if you don't have bandwidth and you are doing a research project, but mention it early so you won't be wasting a seat. So try to so the experience which you will be gaining throughout this 2 or 3 months while you are trying to get into GSOC will definitely be helpful to you in your future. Like you will learn about open source organization. So yeah, so that is not a worry for you. And also the other thing is that bandwidth required is quite low. It should be possible to give 25 hours a week for GSOC, like sacrifice your some weekends of sleep, maybe go to less parties or something like that. And while in the summer, so if you can give this much amount of time, that is also enough. So you can keep on doing your research project. So I published a paper. Student, there are my friends who work with OpenCV. So OpenCV, if you search, it is a pretty big organization, and it like their projects are very nice also. So he worked with OpenCV and also interned in Goldman Sachs. So it is possible, and people do that as a side income, GSOC. So you can also do that. And how much prep is needed for large orgs? Start now. Give 1 hour a day or 3 hours a week till January, and then increase it to 2 hours a day in February and March. This should get you even in most of organizations like Mozilla, OpenStreetMap. So yeah, so these organizations can do with this amount of work. Small orgs, get candid, work as you like. If you don't want, don't. So be sure to devote 1 hour a day after January, because after that, because for the small orgs, many students might not be applying, might not be preparing. So yeah, so you can be very much devoted after January, but you need to research like what the organizations and are. So candidly work for them. Yeah. For new organizations, 3 to 4 hours a day in March, because they will be applied, and many of the students will be focused on these organizations because they are new, and they will take students, and they might be not be having much experience with the GSOC, and might not be having a tough pipeline, like a stringent pipeline to select students. So student take chances. So you need to work 3 to 4 hours a day in March. And like my minor 2 was destroyed because like in March, I think I had my minor 2. So be prepared. So start so just manage your time in that month. Yeah, for February and March. What if org I'm approaching doesn't get selected? So suppose, let's say you applied for Mozilla, and Google said that okay, no, we are not funding Mozilla because we are going for Google Chrome. No, like that's just a thing. But, like, it won't happen. Mozilla is a big organization. So like what happened is that if you know about Tor, there was an organization called Tor. So Tor browser is an onion network, and it is used worldwide to securely browse web. So I don't remember Tor को exactly कैसे define करे, but Tor was a big organization, and I was trying to apply for it, but then it didn't get selected in 2019. So that was one thing. So things like this happen. So the org which you have been applying in, let's say December and January, won't end up getting selected in March. In March, or whenever the org gets declared. So no worries. Many students face this issue. So either the org itself will give you a project with some stipend, or the expertise you gained will help you in applying other orgs. So you will be applying in, let's say you didn't get in Tor, you started applying in, suppose, let's say OWASP, and you got in touch with their mentors and told you that या मैंने आई एम वर्किंग विथ OWASP एंड मैंने इतना कुछ किया है, एंड प्रीवियसली I was working with Tor, and you can see my open source contribution there. So any kind of open source contribution which you do, you can mention in your proposal. So so please do that. So your contribution in Tor will get reflected in your proposal, and there are high chances that you will selected. So this is not a big issue if your org doesn't get selected. So yeah, thanks. Consider applying in Open Roberta Labs. We will try to apply next year also. So yeah.